everyone, it's Carolyn here to share another message. Today, it's not a channeled message, but I'm going to talk about what I was given as a conversation with my spirit team with respect to what we can all potentially notice as we move through the rest of the year with the energies. So I thought this was fascinating because how this all came about was I was just kind of pondering this literally just this morning and how I've been feeling lately. And then they went into a full-blown conversation with me where I started to take notes. And there are 6 things that I'm going to talk about today that you are likely to notice more as we move forward in our awakening journey in the rest of 2019. And I thought it would be really helpful to share that. So I'm Carolyn, I'm a distance energy healer, I'm a channel, and I'm a spiritual awakening mentor. And I welcome all of you who have joined me today here on my channel where I typically offer channeled messages for your guidance during your awakening journey. And then oftentimes I will just take a topic and start talking about it without a channeled message. So that's what I'm going to do today, even though my spirit team has very much been involved in creating this video. So for those of you who are new, I do have a welcome video that'll offer you a whole lot more free content. If you like what I offer here, you'll get more on my email list. Once or twice a week, I will offer that to you. But below in the description box is the first way to get there, which is 6 tips on how to create flow in your body for health and wellness. So click that and it'll lead you to a lot more free content. I would love to have you join me. So anyway, with that today, I'm just going to get started talking about these, and I'm going to give you a few of examples that I've had. So these are things to watch for the rest of 2019. And again, the energies are flowing now, not just for September, but through the rest of the year. And I wish I could explain how I see this, how they show me this, that it's almost like a waterfall. They're showing me September, and they're showing me the rest of the year so that we can, I don't want to say predict, we can receive some level of information about what to expect for the rest of the year, even though time-wise, it's out a few months, okay? So first of all, what you may start to notice is greater sensitivity to energies. Now that's probably not lost on a lot of you, but some of us aren't consciously aware of that. And I have said before, and I'll say it again, starting in 2019, I became hypersensitive to it. In fact, I used to always kind of joke around with my friends like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't feel any energies. And in 2019, starting with January, I can, basically pinpoint when something shifted and happened. And I'm also reflecting it in my body and my mind and how I feel. Typically, often throughout the course of the week, things will shift and change, and sometimes throughout the days. So what you're going to notice is, if you're not already in 2019, you're probably, as we move through the rest of this year, this is what they're giving me. They're showing me September through December right now in my mind's eye, and showing that they're showing a move up. So the heightened sensitivity for us. What that can actually mean is physical symptoms such as headaches, potentially, body aches, joint aches, feeling fuzzy and disconnected, which I'm going to talk about here shortly. Feeling flu-like symptoms, sometimes rashes, cold sores, all those things, those physical manifestations, greater sensitivity to the energies coming in, almost to the point where many of you are going to start to be like me, where you're able to say, whoa, something just rolled in. And then you'll start knowing that your body, okay, now they're showing me your body is like a thermometer, or a barometer, they're saying, not thermometer. It's like a barometer, shifting and changing. So just know that because we're becoming more sensitive, our body is shifting and changing to more fit and suit the energies that are coming in. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2 is a greater awareness. Now, what does that even mean? That is so hard to put into the English language. Greater awareness to me is, well, some of you may notice that you're not just noticing the energies, but you're seeing them, you're feeling them. You may be starting to notice other spirit forms around you, and it's nothing to fear. You may just start noticing energies because remember, during this ascension journey, the veil's dropping too. And as we go through awakening, that is afforded the opportunity for us. So these things are going to be more consciously aware. Colors, geometric symbols, whether it's in your mind's eye your dreams or day-to-day conscious awareness, because this can all happen, some or none of it or all of it. So a greater awareness in one way or another. You may be more attuned to your signs and messages. They may be more in your face. They may have increased. You may be starting to see more in the clouds, in the skies. You may be getting more synchronicity. There's all kinds of things, but this is going to amp up through the end of the year. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to end at the end of the year, but what I'm being shown now is what we're going to potentially have the opportunity to feel more of and notice as the year concludes. Number 3, and I'm just going to say it, memory loss. Now, don't get all freaked out about that, because what that means is you really aren't even going to sometimes remember what you did this morning. It's so fuzzy. It's almost like you're in a cloud in a dream and you're thinking, wait a minute, when did I do that? Did I do that? I don't know what I did. When I did it. And that can really wreak havoc on us, but at the same time, it can kind of make you feel comfortable, like, well, it's not just a memory thing. It's a real symptom of the ascension and the awakening, where you are starting to be so in the now moment that the past memories of things that just recently happened are going to be hard to put into your framework and to recall. Don't get concerned about that. We get that brain foggy thing, but it's actually really a true part of pulling us into the now moment, being focused on the idea that, and this is another piece of, in fact, this is the next one, number 4, time shifts. And we'll talk about that here in a second. But the memory loss or forgetfulness, don't get concerned about that. It's natural, and it's going to be more profound, very likely, pulling you in from maybe always focusing on past things and also potentially focusing so much on the future, and bring us right in here to the now moment. So memory loss, not being able to recall. And I will say distant memories will probably be more easy to recall. It's the things that have happened yesterday, today, last week. And then fifthly, the time shift part is tied to this as well, not knowing when it even happened. Sometimes, and I notice this with conversations with my awakening friends, and it's not just me. I'll say, oh, well, I guess it was today that, no, it was like 2 days ago, that X, Y, and Z happened. And most everybody will start feeling more of this as we move through 2019. Because remember, this is all about the shift and change in energies, how we're accommodating in our body, how the earth is accommodating, how 5D feels and starts to be reflected in our life, in our bodies as we're shifting and changing. So time shifts. Additionally, what that means is sometimes you're going to feel like things were much shorter than they, I guess, actually were. Losing track of, even more so than maybe you already are, of, wow, I feel like, okay, we're in September, but I feel like we should be in June. Those kinds of bigger gaps in time, your day will go by faster. You will feel like it may be noon and you can't figure out how in the world all of a sudden it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Those kinds of things, time shifts. You're just almost going to be taken out of your current, they're saying your current awareness and placed into a different, now they're saying reality, which gets into a whole nother conversation. Like a different timeline is what you may start feeling like you're shifting into. And that can get into a whole nother conversation about parallel lives, timelines, etc. But just know that you might have that odd feeling of like, wait a minute, I've shifted into something else, okay? There's another piece to that almost is as though when you're observing the outside world, of course you're still involved, but you're observing, you're kind of feeling like it's just happening around you and you're just there watching it. And you're like, am I really involved here or am I just watching a play? That's kind of part of this time thing. So I'd be really interested in how it's real hard to describe until you have experienced it, but I think I've given you a kernel of something to go on here. Time shifts and how it plays out for you in your awareness. Okay, the other thing you're going to notice all of a sudden, you know how we think we're the only ones around awakening? Not anymore. Oh, you're going to notice more and more people around you are starting to spark awake, whether they're consciously aware of it or not. And you're going to find a lot more people in your community, in your family, potentially, in your friends around you, even though it still may seem like a smaller number, they're going to start coming into your awareness even more, because more and more are awakening. And this is going to happen even at a greater pace as we move through 2019 and then prepare for 2020, which oh, wow, I have chills and I haven't even said this yet. And chills are a confirmation for me that what I'm about ready to say is something they really want to emphasize, is that in 2020, we're going to have a huge mass of people awakening. And so with that said, just know that you're going to find more people awakening as we journey through the rest of the year. And then number 6, the last of the ones I want to cover for today, is without being able to put words around it, feeling like something big is coming. And I don't mean, a new earth is going to show up and I'll go jump off on it and then we've ascended. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Because I've talked long and hard about how that's not how this plays out, even though it's still hard to wrap our minds around, but that something big is shifting and changing. And honestly, it's a constant feeling of this. It's a constant feeling, not an anxiety, nothing like that. I suppose it could manifest in you if you let it that way, but that's not it. It's something big is coming in the sense of it's the awakening, it's the ascension, it's this constant shift of the collective energy that you're feeling that is shifting and changing, the something big that's coming, the move forward that's coming. Now, yes, we may have some events happening, things like, you could argue natural disasters, we know how the world is, right? There's something every day that we could focus our mind on and worry about, but we can't do that because these are natural events that are going to happen because this is part of this awakening ascension journey. We have to know that. These big things that are coming, however you want to define those, are here for a reason. And those big things that I'm sensing that they're giving me information on is that growing collective energy ascending. There you go. So those are the 6 things today that I wanted to share with you that they are very much giving me emphasis on for the rest of the year that you're going to potentially notice in yourself as you journey through your awakening. So with that today, I'm going to go ahead and leave you and remind you too that I don't want you to forget the free summit with 20 speakers. I've got it in the description box below. I've talked about this a lot over the last time. It started on September 4th, but you can still get included where you have 20 speakers for free coming into your email box, one a week, where you get to learn from these folks who are sharing their knowledge, their experiences, and I'm one of those folks who's working along with Tiffany Rose, who's my collaborator and friend, to offer this free summit for you so you can take bits and pieces and kernels away for your own journey. So I hope you will join me by signing up and getting your spot so you can start getting all the videos as well. And be sure to check out purplerainhealing.com if you're interested in working further with me or checking out my services of distance energy healing and channeling, channeled messages for your journey forward, and spiritual awakening mentoring, where I help launch you forward in your awakening journey and channel information as we go through those sessions. So with that, I'm going to leave you today, and I appreciate you so much joining me, and I will see you in the next video.